Hey everyone, I'm Rob Franek. I'm editor-in-chief here at the Princeton Review, and I'm here with you today to talk about how your ACT and SAT prep can get you ready for the school year. Now, given how unusual this year has been so far, you'll want your prep to be efficient so you can conquer the skills needed for success on the ACT and the SAT, and so that in the process, you will also strengthen the skills that you'll need for your high school classes as well. Friends, let's acknowledge right up from the get-go one important truth that you and I have talked about many times, but it certainly is important to mention again. The ACT and the SAT do not test how smart you are. They simply test on how well you do on those exams. But that being said, there are strategies that you can deploy to get savvy about the tests and improve your skills in high school as well. So friends, together, we're gonna walk through 6 ways to accomplish both of those feats at once. First on my list, we need to talk general process just for a minute. Now, prepping for the SAT and the ACT will get you into a school mindset. There's no question there. Particularly given how disruptive the COVID-19 pandemic has been, you'll want to get your brain back on track well in advance of the academic year starting. In addition, if you're prepping remotely online with a live course or a tutor or a self-paced course or even a book or maybe a combination of all of those things, you'll be getting more reps with distance learning through your prep. And that's a skill that you will definitely need going forward. But we can't stop there. We need to drill down to the specific skills that you'll need for both of the exams as well as your classes, which brings me to my promised second point. Drilling your grammar and your vocabulary skills will definitely help you on the ACT English as well as the SAT writing and language test. Those skills will also help you in your English class and any other classes for which you have to write essays. And of course, on your college application essay itself. Bonus perk on this same point, being proficient in grammar will help you as you learn foreign languages more easily as well. So that's an awesome bonus. It leads me to my point number 3, which is reading comprehension. Both the ACT and the SAT test reading comp. The skills that you'll need for the ACT reading section are very similar to what you'd call upon to write a book report. And on the SAT reading, they're comparable to the skills that you will have learned in 10th grade English class. You may be asked to assess the big picture or make an inference or define vocabulary and context. Folks, this is stuff that you know already. Now, while the SAT passages do require close attention and focus, these are skills that you exercise every time you read anything carefully, whether it's a poem or a book chapter. And just getting back into the swing of reading will make a huge difference once you jump back into your schoolwork as well. It leads me to my point number 4, which is, I bet you could know this one already, writing. If you're going to be writing the ACT or the SAT essay, and we highly recommend that you do, your prep will help you make any writing clear and concise. State your thesis. Don't use 3 words if one will suffice. Find supporting evidence. Present your case. Use clear transitions to demonstrate your logic and conclude. Folks, this is stuff that you know how to do. You're going to be awesome at this. Now, for my 5th point, we need to switch gears and talk a little math. Anything that you learn for the ACT or SAT math should help you in your own classes and vice versa. So for instance, if anything that you're doing involving geometry or algebra 2 will help you on the math sections of both the SAT and the ACT, and getting back into the general swing of math, especially if you haven't done it all summer, will set you up for success once school begins this fall. And if you haven't gotten to trigonometry yet, do not sweat it, my friends. Just 4 out of the 50 questions on the ACT and just a handful on the SAT are likely going to cover trig. If you have gotten to trig already in school, then the practice problems that you do for the ACT and SAT will help you sharpen those skills for classes like AP Calculus. Now, I promised you 6 points. This is my last point, and it is certainly not least, and it's in the form of a question. What about the ACT science section? Folks, this might be the most confusingly named standardized test section ever, because it doesn't actually test you on knowledge of science. It tests you on your ability to understand and draw information from graphs, from charts, from tables, from research summaries, and then of course scientific arguments. Now those are all tools of science, but none of which are actually science itself. But be that as it may, for the ACT, you will not need to define any scientific terms or memorize the periodic table. But by sharpening the science reasoning skills that the ACT tests, you will be setting yourself up for success in biology, in chemistry, and any other subject that requires careful analysis. And friends, before I let you go, let's just recall right up at the beginning, we started with a statement acknowledging that there was one essential truth, and that truth is that the SAT and the ACT doesn't test you on how smart you are, it simply tests you on how well you do on those exams. So I think it's important that we conclude with another acknowledging statement. Your test prep this season won't be like anything that you've done before or that most people on the planet have done before. Your future college, folks, may be test optional, but strong scores can still help you earn admission, merit-based financial aid, and of course, academic placement. And given social distancing requirements at testing centers throughout the SAT and the ACT, you may only get the opportunity to sit for the exam once. And given your 2020 spring semester, they may not have generated you usual letter grade scores or certainly the extracurricular activities that you had expected. And put all that together, these factors can make the tests themselves feel disproportionately important, but I hope that you'll keep them in some perspective. For the most part, they can only help you with college admission and financial aid, and the work that you put into these tests can only help you in your classes as well. Now, if there's a strategy or a lesson that you found especially useful on your exams or certainly in school, then leave us a comment and certainly let us know. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for the latest updates on the ACT, the SAT admission, and much more. Please tune in for our regular ACT and SAT live streams right here on YouTube. Again, Rob Franek, I'm editor-in-chief here at the Princeton Review. I'll see you back here next time. Take care.